Jonathan Frakes, born August 19, 1952, in Bellefonte, Pennsylvania, is one of Hollywood's most iconic faces. Best known for his role as Commander William T. Riker on Star Trek, The Next Generation, and his prolific directing career, including Star Trek: First Contact. With more than 4 decades of entertainment under his belt, he has become a household name, not only for his talent, but also for his warm personality and devotion to his family. In a 2023 interview with People magazine, while promoting Hallmark's A Biltmore Christmas, he shared his 38-year journey with his wife, General Hospital star Jeannie Francis, and the challenges he overcame to achieve success. Behind the friendly smile and deep voice, however, lies a life filled with deep joys and sorrows, relentless efforts, and moments that brought him to tears. Jonathan Frakes' life is a story of resilience, one in which he turned adversity into motivation to create a proud legacy, but also a testament to the scars that the spotlight cannot hide. The greatest sadness in Jonathan Frakes' life was the death of his younger brother Daniel in 1997 from pancreatic cancer, a loss that left him feeling lost and guilty for not being there more in his final years. Raised in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, in an educated family with a father who was an English professor at Lehigh University and a mother who loved the arts, Jonathan and Daniel had a close relationship from an early age. They played trombone together in the Liberty High School band, ran track and field, and shared dreams for the future. Daniel, a physician, was someone Jonathan admired for his intelligence and dedication. But when Daniel was diagnosed in 1995, Jonathan was at the height of his career, busy directing Star Trek: First Contact and other projects. He could only visit his brother on short trips, and seeing Daniel weaken felt like a chokehold on his heart. He said in a 2005 interview that he cried in the car on the way home from the hospital, thinking he hadn't done enough to support his brother. When Daniel died at age 41, Jonathan was filming an episode of Star Trek: Voyager. He took a few days off to attend the funeral, but the feeling of emptiness followed him for years. Once, while filming a scene in 1998's Star Trek: Insurrection, where the character Riker talks about loss, he burst into tears on set, not because of the script, but because memories of Daniel came flooding back. This sadness deepened when he thought about his mother, who also passed away in 2020, and how she suffered the loss of her son. He felt he had not been able to fill the void Daniel left in the family, and it became a scar that never healed. Jonathan Frakes' career has been a journey spanning more than 4 decades, with brilliant successes mixed with painful failures and struggles that brought him to tears. He began his acting career in the 1970s after graduating with a B.A. in theater from Pennsylvania State University in 1974 and an M.A. from Harvard University in 1976. With a passion for theater, he moved to New York, joined the Impossible Ragtime Theater, and performed in Eugene O'Neill's The Hairy Ape. He also appeared on Broadway in the musical Shenandoah in 1976, marking his first major recognition. To make ends meet, he worked odd jobs, from waiting tables to playing Captain America at Marvel Comics conventions. In his early years, he landed small roles on television series such as The Waltons, 8 is Enough, Heart to Heart, and The Dukes of Hazzard, often in one-off roles. His big break came in 1977 when he was cast as Tom Carroll on the TV series The Doctors, which helped him gain a foothold in the industry. However, when his character was written out of the series, he decided to move to Los Angeles, where he continued to land guest roles on Barnaby Jones, Quincy, M.E., and Hill Street Blues. In 1983, he starred in the miniseries Bare Essence, where he met Jeannie Francis, and then as Stanley Hazard in 1985's North and South, an epic American Civil War drama starring Patrick Swayze and Kirstie Alley. These roles brought him attention, but were not enough to catapult him to stardom. Frakes' career peaked in 1987 when he was cast as Commander William T. Riker in Star Trek: The Next Generation. The role not only established him as a science fiction icon, but also opened the door to a career as a director. He appeared in all 7 seasons of the series, from 1987 to 1994, and reprised his role as Riker in 4 feature films: Star Trek: Generations, 1994, Star Trek: First Contact, 1996, Star Trek: Insurrection, 1998, and Star Trek: Nemesis, 2002. He also appeared in other Star Trek series such as Deep Space Nine, Voyager, Enterprise, Picard, and Lower Decks, becoming one of the actors with the most appearances in any Star Trek series. In addition to acting, he began directing in the 3rd season of The Next Generation, with the episode The Offspring receiving critical acclaim. He went on to direct 8 episodes of The Next Generation and episodes of Deep Space Nine, Voyager, Enterprise, Discovery, Strange New Worlds, and Picard. His 2 feature films, Star Trek: First Contact and Star Trek: Insurrection, were critically acclaimed, with First Contact becoming the highest-grossing film in the franchise at the time. He also directed films such as Clockstoppers, 2002, Thunderbirds, 2004, and The Librarian, Return to King Solomon's Mines, 2006, as well as episodes of series such as Roswell, Leverage, NCIS, Los Angeles, and Castle. He also voiced David Xanatos in Gargoyles and hosted Beyond Belief, Fact or Fiction, earning him a large fan base. However, his career has not always been smooth sailing. A major failure was his 2004 directorial film Thunderbirds, which was panned by critics and failed at the box office, causing him to doubt his abilities. He shared in a 2010 interview that he cried in the editing room after reading negative reviews, feeling like he had damaged a well-known franchise. Another struggle was in the 1980s, when he was repeatedly turned down for leading roles in major films. After Bare Essence, he hoped to land more substantial roles, but was often offered supporting roles. He cried after a failed audition for an NBC series in 1984, thinking he would never break the supporting actor barrier. Another challenge was when he transitioned into directing. Initially, he had difficulty convincing the production team of The Next Generation that he had any confidence in his abilities. He spent months learning from producer Rick Berman and stayed late in the editing room to master the craft. When The Offspring aired in 1990 and received positive reviews, he cried with relief, feeling that he was finally being recognized. Other efforts, such as learning to play the trombone to perform in the band The Sunspots with his Star Trek colleagues, or continuing to direct episodes into his 70s despite his failing health, are testaments to his dedication. A particularly touching moment was when he received the Saturn Award for Best Director in 1997 for Star Trek: First Contact. He teared up during his speech, thanking Jeannie and his children, saying they were his motivation to never give up. The achievements that Jonathan Frakes has always strived for are not just fame or money, but also being a versatile artist and a proud husband and father. Since he was young, he dreamed of becoming an actor who could bring emotions to audiences, inspired by stars like Marlon Brando. One of his biggest goals was to leave his mark on the entertainment industry, and he achieved this through his role as Riker and his work as a director. Winning the Saturn Award in 1997 and the Saturn Award for Best Supporting Actor in 2024 for Star Trek. Picard are milestones that he is proud of, as they recognize his dedication for over 40 years. He has also worked to become a respected director, not only in Star Trek, but also in other genres. Directing Star Trek: First Contact, considered one of the best Star Trek films, was a huge achievement, as he had to overcome pressure from fans and producers. He also tries to spread his passion through teaching at Rockport College, Maine, where he instructs students in film and television directing. Another accomplishment is maintaining a fan-friendly image. He is known as Two Takes Frakes for his effective directing style, and his signature welcome aboard greeting to new Star Trek fans has become iconic. He also tries to be recognized as a role model father. Despite his busy schedule, he always makes time for his son Jameson and daughter Elizabeth, supporting their music and acting careers. One memorable moment was when he was invited to be a special guest at a Star Trek event in Las Vegas in 2019. He was moved to tears when fans stood up and applauded, feeling that he had done something meaningful for the science fiction community. Jonathan Frakes' love and marriage have been an important part of his life, bringing both joy and profound challenges. He met General Hospital star Jeannie Francis in 1982 on the set of Bare Essence. He was 30 and she was 20, and he joked that she was too young for him. However, when they reunited on the set of North and South in 1985, love blossomed. They began dating in May 1985 during a Memorial Day trip to New Orleans and became engaged in 1986. They married on May 28, 1988, in an intimate ceremony in Encino, California, attended by family and close friends. Their marriage lasted more than 36 years, making them one of the most enduring relationships in Hollywood. Jeannie, with her gentle personality and illustrious career in soap opera, became his rock. Together, they ran a furniture store in Belfast, Maine, called The Cherished Home, from 2000 to 2012, as a way to balance work and family life. He often helped Jeannie learn lines for General Hospital, and she also assisted him in directing projects. In a 2023 interview, he said that Jeannie